Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Today we're sitting as Hamilton Township Council. We do have quorum and that we have all council members here. We are here in the presence of our clerk and many other staff today. Our first item on our agenda is our land acknowledgement statement. The Township of Hamilton is situated within the traditional territory of the Mississauga, Anishinaabe, and Chippewa nations, collectively known as the Williams Treaties First Nations. Our work on these lands respectfully acknowledges their resilience and their long-lasting contributions to the area now known as the Township of Hamilton. I did neglect to say that we were starting at 1 p.m. Item 3 on our agenda, declarations of pecuniary interest. Is there any to be declared today? Seeing none, that will be recorded. Do we have anyone registered with us that would like to speak under question or under component 4 on our agenda regarding questions on our agenda today? Seeing none, we'll move on to presentations. I enjoy when our staff gets awards. We're pretty lucky that way, and we have several today. And the first of which is a recognition of Shelley Leger, our fire prevention officer, who's being awarded the Digital Creator of the Year award. And I think I would be remiss if I just let my words on that be the total words spoken. Fire Chief Mike Robinson, would you please say a few words? Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Jib. It gives me great pleasure to present today's award to Shelley. As you're aware, Shelley's been with us a number of years, has done a pile of work on our social media, is very active, not only in the inspections and compliance piece, but her wheelhouse really is the education piece. She's been on the board for the Ontario Municipal Fire Prevention Officers Association for a couple of years and was recently recognized as the Digital Creator of the Year at an event that was held up in Ramara Township. That is for work that we all see on social media, and the platforms that she's creating are being shared across Ontario and shared amongst Ontario firefighters and fire associations for the safety of all the residents of Ontario. So if we could have Shelley come forward with her award. I presume, are we doing pictures at this time? Or are we doing them at the end, or no pictures?
We are doing pictures, but because we have two presentations, we will be doing pictures back to back. So if you would like to step aside for a moment and Shelley be patient with us for a moment, we'll get together here in this horseshoe and we will officially make the presentation and pictures at that point in time, which is probably just a few minutes from now.
Thank you.
Our second presentation and recognition is to Nezrat and, shall I say, a lot of other people that Nezrat works alongside every day. Nezrat is the face, shall I say, of the Treasurer and Financial Services Group, but she's very quick to add that, or note that many people that work with her, work together, and do a superb job. I must admit, though, Nezrat is the only person that has challenged me. And for you in the room who don't know me, I'm computer illiterate. At least that's the words I use. And Nezrat has laid down a challenge which I have already met, in that she gave me 1 year to learn how to send back congratulations when she shared with me the winning of this award and others of how to do a smiley face emoji. And the 1 year is far from up. And I have successfully done that. So, Nezrat, thank you for the challenge. Thank you for the fun. Thank you for the dedication. And to the rest of the team, and that includes pretty much everybody when you dig deep, not only just the Treasury team, but every department head, everyone that submits logical, common sense, good information for the Treasury team to work with. So we thank each and every one of you. And Nezrat, being as reserved a person as she is, didn't want to speak to this today, although I should challenge her like she does me. Nezrat, would you like to say a word or two, please?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, thank you so much. I don't think we would have received this if we didn't have the team that we do. Mitchell Benson, Natalie Curtin, Danielle, and Tara. We have, in my opinion, one of the best finance team around. I am so proud to be part of that team. And without the help of the department heads and of course our CAO, this couldn't have been possible. So thank you. Thank you to everyone.
The award is the Government Finance Officers Association. And it is being awarded, I better read all of this, recognition of Nezrat Treasurer and Financial Services team for being awarded the Canadian Award Financial Reporting for the fiscal year ending 2024. Nezrat and everybody, thank you. We're going to stop for a moment and we're going to take a couple of pictures. Could we have Shelley and those interested please come forward? Council, staff who would like to join us out in front of the horseshoe, and we'll just hesitate and take that picture, and then we'll transition to the Treasury team right after. Slight modification, and we're going to do that more than once today, to be honest with you. Several of the finance team are not in the building and not available to us, so we're going to postpone that picture. But if you would join with me in a round of applause for the team, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Now, we're going to go into a public meeting, and we're going to be receiving some reports. And it's a little different format today than I've been used to for the last 5 decades. So there's going to be adjustments on my part, and then corrections and more adjustments. And we do have it arranged and spoken of that our clerk, Daphne, sitting beside me, is going to give me a little gentle kick when I go astray. So, moving on. Item 6 on our agenda is public hearings and meetings, and a motion to go into a public meeting. Still okay? Council move into a special meeting of council, open to the public, to discuss any revisions to the official plan that may be required in accordance with Section 26(3)B of the Planning Act at 1:10 p.m. on June 16th, 2026. And our first presenter, move in a second. Moved by Mark, seconded by Larry. All those in favor? Carried, thank you. And item 6.2 on the agenda is an invitation to Jennifer Current, our senior planner, who will provide an overview of report number PLN 2026-25 regarding the update to the township official plan. Please, Jennifer, the microphone's yours.
Through you, Mayor Jib. This report is coming to council. It signifies the start or commencement of the Hamilton Township's official plan review. We're going to undertake a comprehensive review of the township's official plan. Under the Planning Act, municipalities are required to update their official plan every 10 years. Our official plan was adopted on August 28th, 2012. It was adopted by Council November 16th, 2010, and finally approved by the Ministry of Municipal Affairs on August 28th, 2012. There have been a number of amendments to the official plan since that time. However, this will be the first comprehensive review of it. And the reason that we're sort of behind the schedule for it is that Northumberland County began their official plan update, I believe it was in 2020. Their first official plan amendment was approved last year. It's taken some time. And in the process, the province has changed provincial legislation. There was the growth plan for the Greater Golden Horseshoe, and we were supposed to be updating our official plans to comply with that, but they've removed it. They've updated they've changed it from the provincial planning policy statement to the provincial planning statement. So all that's to say, we're in the same boat as probably most of the municipalities in Northumberland County. So we're starting our official plan amendment, or our official plan update now. It will be a series of amendments similar to the county official plan update. The 2 official plan amendments for the county that have been approved are, one is for growth management and the other is for natural heritage. The natural heritage OPA, I believe it was OPA number 2, was the, it was OPA number 1, was approved by the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing on February 19th, 2026, but it was adopted by County Council on December 15th, 2021. So there have been a lot of changes in those 4 or 5 years. So we're going to start our official plan review with a review of the county's official natural heritage policies and implement them through our official plan. And during that process, we'll be refining the county mapping, which is done at a fairly large scale. They look at bigger areas. We're going to be going down, narrowing in on our specific areas to see if there's any changes that need to be done. So the first official plan amendment will be natural heritage. And we'll also be looking at official plan amendments that will look at the agriculture and rural areas, growth management, and then we're going to be doing a review of our general consent policies and general development policies. Now, with the growth management OPA, the municipality has retained Watson and Associates to prepare a growth management study, or a sort of a refinement of the Northumberland County growth management study that was done specific to Hamilton Township, to see whether our settlement areas are sufficiently sized to accommodate our proposed growth, see if we need to expand them, look at that sort of thing. But that has commenced, or we will be having our first meeting with the consultant team this week. So I'm anticipating, first we'll do our natural heritage OPA, or official plan amendment. I'm sorry, planners speak in acronyms, so official plan amendment is an OPA. We'll be doing the natural heritage component. The county is currently undertaking a review of their agricultural land use system. I believe that they are planning on having their agricultural OPA, official plan amendment, adopted either this summer or in the fall. And then at the same time, our growth management study will be taking place. So the order of operations that I see is natural heritage, then agriculture and rural, and then growth management. And our growth management OPA, official plan amendment, will be undertaken once the growth management study is done, because it will implement recommendations from that report. So the purpose of this meeting is just to discuss, or to present council with the overview of the process. We don't have any technical information right now. We are required as a municipality to implement the policies of the county official plan, which was required to implement the policies of the provincial planning statement. So it's a whole hierarchy thing. But as you get down to the lower tier municipality, policies become more specific. So that's the purpose of these amendments, and we'll be reviewing our documents to ensure compliance with the provincial planning statement and the county official plan. As noted in the report, one of the items that will be reviewed during the process, and this is probably during either the growth management section or the general development policies, will be the use perhaps of communal services in our settlement areas. The use of communal, and this is communal septic services, will allow for densification in our settlement areas and hopefully reduce encroachment onto our agricultural lands. So that's one of the items that we will be discussing. Again, this is just an overview of topics that will be discussed. There is no discussion at this point. It's just we're going to be talking about this in the future. And as the process unfolds, more information will become available, both draft policies, schedules, background information. That information will be presented to council and will be available on the municipal website. We've created a specific link on the website to the Hamilton Township's official plan update, and all information pertaining to the update will be uploaded there for public review. There will be future statutory public meetings and open houses, so look forward to your notices, receiving your notifications. If you have any questions for me regarding the process, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Jennifer. I'll at this point in time limit questions to council members for Jennifer, and then I'll go to the public and see for comments. Do we have any comments at this point in time? I mean, we're talking about opening the process is what we're really talking about. No components of it, just opening the process. Larry?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, just to clarify and sort of clear up something that just regarding the 2025 budget of $100,000 has been allotted already and approved by council, and we've now hired a senior planner to assist in that process. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, that's going to help us out a lot because we're going to do a lot of this in-house.
Yes, the intention is to do the official plan review in-house.
Great, okay. And so all costs and expenses will be within the budget, we hope?
That's the goal.
Okay, well, that's good.
The goal is to undertake,
Those are my only comments.
yes,
Thank you.
the goal is to undertake the work in-house.
Thank you.
with our resources. I would like to mention that if there are members of the public here, there is a sign-in sheet at the back, and if people would like to receive notification of future public meetings or publishing of agendas where this will be discussed, if they could please sign in on the sheet with their phone number and an email address, that would be lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions from council members? Okay, thank you at this point in time, Jennifer. We'll go to the audience, and I know there are some interested people in the audience. Would anyone like to provide comment or ask questions at this point in time? If so, we would ask you to come to the microphone and state name and address, that type of thing. Please, come forward and we'll just ensure that the microphone is on.
Hi, my name is Lori Dodd, and I live at 3539 Cornish Hollow Road. So I had a two-part question, which I'm more confused with now, but maybe you answered it in yours. The first part of my question comes from your Land Use Schedule A, where I got off your website showing a significant number of neighboring lands to mine are being recommended to be changed from agricultural to rural. I would like to understand what the process was to make this recommendation and how it's guided by the official plan. So I'm not certain if your description of process answers my question, if this recommendation is already been adopted or where that stands. And then the second part of the question stems from your key natural heritage mapping, which I got offline on Schedule B. And I don't currently see any mapping done south of the already identified Oak Ridges Moraine. So the second part of my question is, how do you know that the land you're recommending to change from agriculture to rural will not be impacted or identified as natural heritage? So those are my
Not to
questions.
stop you, Lori, in any way, but that's the extent of your question?
Correct.
Okay, I think the answer is going to be county versus township, but I'll defer that to our planner. Jennifer, if you would come back to the microphone for response, please.
Certainly, through you, Mayor Jibb. The first part of the question, I believe, had to do with the agricultural land use mapping that's currently being reviewed for the county. And the county has undertaken a comprehensive review of the agricultural land use system for the entire county, including Hamilton Township. As part of that process, they looked at the Canada Land Inventory mapping, probably soils mapping, and they retained an agrologist to review the lands and the recommendations. It is the county mapping that is currently being reviewed, and it's the county official plan. So the township official plan has not changed at this point in time. When the county plan changes, the township will be required to comply with our mapping will have to be changed to match the Northumberland County mapping. At this point in time, the mapping at Northumberland County has not been changed. If people have concerns over the mapping, there were a number of public open houses that were held, or you can contact, and if you didn't attend those meetings, you can contact Northumberland County to review the process that they undertook. I do know that they hired an agrologist specifically to look at the requests where there were requests from landowners to have their land changed from the rural designation to the agricultural designation. And the significance of that change is that land in the agricultural designation is not eligible for residential severances. Residential severances in the agricultural designation are limited to the severance of a surplus farm dwelling, the odd lot addition, or if somebody has a 200-acre agricultural property, they could divide it into two 100-acre properties. With respect to the natural heritage mapping, it is correct that the current official plan mapping for Hamilton Township only maps natural heritage features on the Oak Ridges Moraine. The new mapping that has been adopted by Northumberland County for the entire county does contain mapping for the entire township, those areas outside of the moraine as well as on the moraine. And the municipality will be required to implement that mapping through our official plan. So our official plan schedule now is from 2010, 2012. It will be updated with the new information from Northumberland County and the natural heritage features on the rest of the in the rest of the municipality will be, those designations will be implemented. Now, I will say that the natural heritage mapping is sort of a two-tier approach. There are what we call significant features, which will be significant wetlands and ANSIs, which are areas of natural and scientific interest. And in provincially significant or significant wetlands and on ANSIs, no development is permitted. So those have their own designation on Schedule A. The remaining designations, which are woodlands, significant woodlands, locally, regionally significant wetlands, I think they call them regionally significant, and other environmental features are going to be identified on a Schedule B, and they are implemented as an overlay. So you will still have an agricultural or a rural land use designation on Schedule A, but there may be an environmental feature that is identified on Schedule B that will have to be looked at too when you're looking at development applications.
Thank you, Jennifer. If I might attempt at a Reader's Digest version of your comments, what we are seeing for proposed changes has been considered by the county. Today, as far as the township official plan is concerned, we basically are simply advertising that we are going to start to look at components. So anything that any of our audience members, whether they be present with us or online with us, anything that's out there for consideration now, the contact would be the county planning department. And an acceptance or an agreement would be beneficial to my Reader's Digest version, if you could, please, Jennifer.
That is correct if you are talking about the agricultural land use mapping and the natural heritage mapping that has been adopted. The draft agricultural mapping of the county and the adopted natural heritage mapping from the county, correct. The correct contact with respect to questions for that is the county.
Yeah. Thank you. And as you indicated earlier, for those interested in our process, which we are talking about for the first time publicly, it would be your contact sheets and follow along our process. Thank you, Jennifer. Turning to the audience again, is there anyone else in the audience that would like to bring forward a question or comment? Very well, we'll move on. And we need a motion here. Okay. We're just working on one of those modifications that I spoke of earlier. We do have a motion at this point in time. It's a prepared motion of sorts. The council received report PLN 2026-25, official plan update, and public comments information for information. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Bruce, seconded by John. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay, we're moving on to 6.3, and it's a motion to rise from public meeting. Prepared motion reads that council rise from a special meeting under Section 26 of the Planning Act and reconvene to a regular council meeting at 1:31 p.m. on June 16th, 2026. Mover and a seconder? Moved by John, seconded by Larry. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay, nothing under planning bylaws. Moving on to item 8 on our agenda, adoption of previous council and committee of the whole meeting minutes. 8.1, prepared motion is that the minutes of the May 19th, 2026 council meeting be adopted. Move in a seconder, moved by Bruce, seconded by John. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried, thank you. There was no business arising from those previous minutes. Committee reports. 10.1, motion to receive committee minutes. And that simply reads that the agenda items of 10.2 to 10.4 of the June 16th, 2026 council meeting agenda be received for information. And we'll pull these and speak to these as we move forward. So move in a seconder, please. Moved by Mark, seconded by Larry. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay, 10.1. Sorry, 10.2. Anyone wish to speak to this or provide an update? Seeing none, we'll move on. 10.3, Cobourg Public Library Board. Anyone wishing to speak to this? Seeing none. 10.4, and I have a note that our Deputy Mayor would like to speak to this, being a Northumberland Physicians Recruitment Committee. Larry, the mic is yours.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, thank you. I just wanted to bring to the attention that in the past, physicians recruitment in our county, and specifically in where we live, has been somewhat lacking. But since it's gone to the county and officially is taken over by the county, we're seeing remarkable results. We now have 2 doctors who have taken positions within Cobourg and Colborne, and our recruiter, the county recruiter, has now has a very progressive plan for the future. And I'm really, excited about the opportunities that exist for bringing more both physicians and nurse practitioners to our county. And then, of course, they'll be in different placements throughout the county. But I just wanted to say, on behalf of the residents, that we look forward to these kinds of activities going on to provide health care to our residents. And I look forward to the future as a better outlook for our area. So that's about it, and thank you, Mr. Mayor. If there's any questions about that, please let me know.
Thank you, Larry. Any questions? Moving on to item 11.1. This is under Public Works and Infrastructure, and we do have Lucas here that's going to give us an overview. It's in respect to Public Works and Infrastructure 2026-07-26 hot mix paving tender MTO pricing index. Lucas, floor is yours.
Good afternoon, Mayor Jeb and Council. I am here today to give you a quick overview of the report that is in front of you regarding the MTO price indexing. Staff did issue a tender back in January regarding of these 3 roads that are in question in the report. Was approved in February's council. Within those specifications of that tender document, there is a clause in there referencing the Ontario provincial standards and specifications regarding asphalt pricing, costs, and the indexing. At that time, we did not know about how volatile our economy would be, fuel prices and such. So this report is here to present about the additional costs that we are going to incur based on the general specifications in the document. When we did tender it out, the asphalt index pricing at that time was just over $1,000 a ton. Right now, for May's cost is over $1,500 a ton. So almost a third increase. Within those calculations, there is formulas, so it can go either 5% either way. So based on those the formulas and indexing, we are seeing some costs incurred because of when we issue the tender early, we get very good rates, unit rates, but it keeps it fair and open to the asphalt suppliers that nobody knows when asphalt cement would do this, increase substantially, so it's kind of open and fair and transparent to the paving companies. So there is a cost there. Staff, like I've mentioned before in the report, we will ensure through the managing of the projects, if there's any savings on granular material, a little bit of ditching, we will definitely reduce some of that to try to minimize this impact as much as possible. But I want to be open and open to you, there will be this asphalt indexing cost for the recent paving we've done on Cavan Road, Telephone Road, and Baltybrook. So I'm here to answer any questions.
Thank you. Council members, questions? John?
Just basically, sorry, through you, Mayor Jib, just basically a comment that I hope in the near future that we'll be revisiting a lot of these roads and making decisions whether it's good to move forward with a lot of other expenses or to put them on hold for a couple of years. So that's my comments. Thank you.
Any further comments or questions? Larry?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, just to clarify, so you're asking council to approve $70,000 in addition to the existing budget?
Correct.
To be funded from reserve, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Motion reads, the council receives report, Public Works and Infrastructure 2026-06, being the 2026 hot mix paving tender MTO price indexing for information, and the council approves an additional funds of $70,000 to be funded from the Public Works Reserve. I have a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Larry, seconded by Mark. Any follow-up questions at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? Carried. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we have nothing under 12, Recs and Facilities, Recreation and Facilities. Moving on to Corporate Services. And this is in respect to CD 2026-07, Restricted Acts after Nomination Day 2026. And we have our clerk speaking to this. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This report is being brought forward for your consideration as part of the 2026 election process. Essentially, the Municipal Election Act identifies restricted actions that council may not take after nomination day and before inauguration day. It's known as the lame duck period. We are seeking delegated authority for the CAO to act on behalf of council during those periods, essentially to appoint or remove an officer from the municipality, to hire or dismiss an employee, to dispose of any real or personal property with a value exceeding $50,000, or make any expenditures exceeding $50,000 unless they were previously approved. The two lame duck periods are after nomination day and before election day, so that would be August 21 to October 26th, and then after election day and before inauguration, so October 27th to November 17th. Lame duck takes place when there are fewer than 75% of current existing council that would carry on business during those periods. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I guess my only question would be, is that any change from any other previous election year in the last bunch?
No, it really isn't.
I don't think
It's
so.
just part of something that we have to do to ensure business continuity.
Status quo, I guess, is my word. So any other questions, comments? Okay, the motion reads, the council receives report CD 2026-07, Restricted Acts after Nomination Day 2026 for information, and that bylaw 2026-26 be presented for approval to delegate authority to the Chief Administrative Officer during a period of restricted acts in the 2026 municipal election year. Mover and a seconder, please. Moved by John, seconded by Bruce. All those in favor? Carried, thank you. Moving on to 13.2. T 2026-13 being the 2025 Development Charge Reserve Funds. Nazrat, please.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, staff is requesting that council receive the 2025 Development Charge Reserve Fund staff report. This is a legislative requirement to present this report to council. Once council receives it, we will like to post it on our website, as well as we have to submit it to the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing by July 15th. Needless to say, we are going to be way ahead of the deadline. In terms of the numbers, we started for DC, we started the year 2025 with $1.64 million. In terms of collection and interest revenue, we collected approximately $217,000. Expenditures, it was around $220,000, and we ended the year of 2025 with $1.637 million. So very close to the beginning balance. The report actually identifies all the projects that were funded through DC in 2025. If council has any question, we would be happy to answer.
Thank you, Nazrat. Any questions for staff? Thank you. Okay, so the motion reads, the council receives report 2026-13, 2025 Development Charge Reserve Funds for information, and that the 2025 Development Charges Refund Statement be made available to the public on the township's website. Moving to seconder, moved by Bruce. Second by John. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Moving on to 13.3 on our agenda. And it's regarding Treasury Report 2026-12, Annual Asset Management Plan Progress Report. Nazrat, please.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, staff is requesting that council receive the annual asset management plan progress report for information. This is also a requirement as per the Municipal Act. As you all know, the asset management plan was presented and approved by council in June of 2025, and it was identified in this asset management plan that we were transferring significantly less than what we should be transferring. One of the recommendation was to increase tax levy by 2.5% each year for the next 20 years in order to meet the target. This report actually gives you a progress on the recommendation. So during 2026 budget deliberation, council actually approved to increase levy by 2.5% as per the recommendation of the asset management plan. Staff worked on improving the asset data that was recommended in the asset management plan, and we also continue to participate in training, workshops, and professional development, just so that we are on top of the requirement for the asset management plan. If council has any question, we would be happy to answer.
Thank you. Questions for staff? Seeing none, prepared motion reads that council receives report 2026-12, Annual Asset Management Plan Progress Report for information. Mover and seconder, moved by Mark, seconded by John. All those in favor? Carried. 13.4 on our agenda regarding user fees. Report 2026, Treasury Report 2026-11, being the 2027 user fee update. Nazrat, please again.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, staff is requesting that council approve the user fees identified in the 2027 user fee update report and also the associated bylaw with it. This is part of the operating budget process. Once council approve it, we will incorporate it in our 2027 operating budget. I do want to remind everyone that once council approves this, the user fees will be effective. Most of the user fees will be effective from January 1st, 2027, except for Parks and Recreations. Their user fee will be effective from September 1st, 2026, just to align with their seasonal programming and facility booking cycle, and that is in the appendix, Schedule 1. The department heads are here today. If council have any question on any of the appendixes, we would be happy to answer.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? Got multiple hands here. John, I saw yours first.
Thank you. Just a comment through you, Mayor Jeb. I'm glad to see there's a minimal increase in very few areas of this document, and anywhere from $1 up to $5, and I'm glad to see that. So it only affects certain areas, and thank you very much for doing that.
Thank you, John. Larry, I believe I saw your hand as well.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, just for clarification, if I could get the chief of the fire department to clarify what MTO rates mean and the impact, if I could. Thank you.
Through you, Mayor Jib, the MTO rates is an annual rate that's set and adopted and upheld by the Ontario Association of Fire Chiefs, and that sets the hourly rate for our vehicles while they're in response. If you've been here for a while, we used to come back annually and make the adjustment annually and actually reflect the number that it changed to every year. We now have simply put the wording in there that is the current MTO rate, which is effective January 1 of the current year.
Again, just for the residents' understanding, MTO represents, it's an acronym for?
Ministry of Transportation of Ontario.
I think we could have referred that to someone else sitting behind you, Mike, and got a pretty good answer for that, too. Brian, if you would.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also just wanted to note, unless you've sort of memorized the 2025 user rates, and I hope you haven't, you'll notice in the 2026 ones, there's just a higher degree of detail into what each defined user rate is. That's sort of us working towards, and Nazret's team and all our directors and managers working towards making this a more user-friendly document. When we are, having our staff assign these charges or bill individuals, sometimes it's not always clear exactly what it is the user rate is for. So I just wanted to acknowledge the amount of work that went into properly defining each of these fees and starting to create that user-friendly document that's going to benefit those that we have to collect these charges from.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, motion time. And that reads, the council receives report 2026-11, being the 2027 user fee update for information, and the council approves the proposed user fee set out in report T 2026-11, 2027 user fee update, and that the township's fees and charges bylaw be approved to include the approved 2027 user fees. Moving to seconder, please. Moved by Bruce, seconded by Larry. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Nazret, it seems to be your busy day today. Development charges reduction program, 13.5 on our agenda, being T 2026-14, development charges reduction program. Nazret, if you would.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, staff is requesting that council receive the development charges reduction program for information. On June 1st, 2026, province announced the DC reduction program. It is a competitive funding program intended to support housing supply by providing a relief to the builders and funding housing enabling infrastructure project. So before I get into the discussion on what analysis we have done and our recommendation, I wanted to talk about the program itself just a little bit. In order to participate in this program, municipalities are required to commit to reduce their residential DC by 30 to 50% for a minimum of 3 years. We also need to contribute or commit to contribute minimum of 10% of the eligible project costs from non-development charges funding sources. Eligible projects must be identified in the DC background study. Primary support the creation of new housing unit, accelerate the delivery of housing enabling infrastructure, be considered shovel ready, and start construction no later than July 31st, 2030, and be completed by October 31st, 2035. The fund, if approved, the funding will be provided on a milestone basis. That means that we have to have a financial strategy in place in order to make sure that we can pay for the cost upfront. And if there is any overage to the project, and we have seen one similar today, if there is any kind of overages to the budget, then municipalities will be responsible for that. Application will be evaluated and prioritized based on the percentage reduction in residential DC, number of housing units expected to benefit from the DC reduction, number of housing units enabled by the project, municipalities' financial contribution, and readiness of the project, of the proposed project, in other words, shovel ready. This particular program or the application is due on the 19th of June. It is a competitive process, so funding is not guaranteed. And the projects are housing enabling. The projects that are housing enabling will be prioritized over community building projects for this particular program. So what did we do? We spent a lot of time reviewing the documentation to make sure that we understand the guideline properly. We have consulted with the other treasurers. We have reviewed our DC studies. We have attended we have attended some session to make sure that we have all the information before we make our recommendation. What we have seen in our DC is that, yes, we do have several growth-related projects identified in our DC study. However, most of our projects support growth. These are not enabling growth. So these projects directly don't enable growth. None of our projects are shovel-ready. And then we did another analysis to see whether the fund that we are going to be receiving is that higher than what we are going to be foregoing. For most of the projects that we have tested, the funds that we are going to be receiving is actually less than the revenue that we are going to be foregoing. And therefore, we are recommending that township, we truly believe that township is not well positioned to apply for this grant. If there is any question, I would be happy to answer.
First of all, I'll just comment, thank you for giving enough detail for us to be able to understand the depth of investigation and time that it has taken for you to do that investigation. So thank you to all those involved. Brian, did you want to provide a comment?
I did, Mr. Mayor. Just want to speak to that point. We could have just let this opportunity go by. To Nazrat's point, we found out the details about the program just on June 10th. I need to make a recommendation to you today in order to comply with that June 19th deadline. So this is a good program that's going to work for a number of larger municipalities. But I also wanted to note that there are going to be municipalities that participate in this program that smaller municipalities that probably shouldn't. Our team's done the deep dive, to your point, to make sure we're making a recommendation to you that keeps our interests sort of preserved. It would be irresponsible of us, given our DC study projects, as described by our treasurer, for us to recommend to you that we participate at this point in time. But we are hopeful to take up opportunities in the future from the province as this program expands and potential future programs such as this. We are encouraged about taking up those opportunities, working with our developers to make sure we're pursuing sort of aggressively as we can similar projects. I also wanted to note, it's alluded to in the report, but we did go out of our way, even prior to recommending this to council, to do some outreach to our local developers and our local MPP to inform them of our staff decision and the recommendation we are presenting to you today.
Thank you. Thank you both. Questions or comments from council members? Larry?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, through the report, you indicated that you discussed our decision to developers. What was their take on that, if I may?
I heard back this morning from one of our well-known developers we have a great relationship with, just expressing appreciation for taking the time to expand on our decision and our recommendation to council. So no concern raised, and it was noted that he looks forward to working with us in the future on any potential opportunity that comes up.
If I may, that's great, because I noticed in the report that it indicated that albeit the reduction in the DC charge of 30 to 50% is a value proposition for some of these developers, but at the same time, they don't necessarily pass that on to the house buyer. So although the federal and provincial government see this as an opportunity to enable housing, it may not be such the case, in the future. So I appreciate that what staff's done is a tremendous piece of work to justify the decision that you've made, and I agree with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? So be it. Prepared motion is that council receives report T 2026-14 Development Charges Reduction Program for information. I have a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by John, seconded by Mark. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Moving on to 15 on our agenda. And 15.1 simply reads that the agenda items from 15.2 to 15.3 agenda be received. And we can pull them if anybody wants to talk to them. Could I have a motion, please, on this? Moved by Bruce, seconded by John. Very well. All those in favor? Carried. Does anyone want to pull 15.2 or 15.3 for comment? Seeing none, we'll move on. 16 point. Oh, sorry, John.
Excuse me, just a comment here on the, I think they call it beach water monitoring system. I think it was May 2026, Lakeland Public Health is launching a beach monitoring program. And I hope that Rice Lake is involved in that program as well. And I know they're doing other lakes and other beaches around the area, I guess, of the region, I think they call it. And I think Northumberland County is involved as well.
Thank you, John. Sorry I missed your hand. Do we know if Rice Lake's involved in this in any way? Does anybody have any information on that? Maybe our Parks and Rec department can help us. Trevor?
I can speak to that through Mayor Jib. The only beach that was being monitored through the health unit was the Harwood Beach. And due to the issues that we've had the last few years with weeds and debris coming in there, they've refused to go in there to get the water to monitor. So we've removed the sign. It is no longer being monitored.
Yes, I'm going to say thank you for that information, Trevor. It's always good to know. John, you have a follow-up? You have some way of getting us away from this by chance?
Well, I don't think we can get away from it at all. So what's the outcome of this then? In other words, if they won't take the monitoring system and they don't want to do anything with it, then how are we going to comply with any kind of health? I have to get the health unit, I guess, to come down and take the samples and tell us whether it's viable or not to enter the water. So it's a, up and down situation. So I have to see it when it comes.
I don't know that we need a motion, but could we ask staff to sort of pick up on this loose end and see what we might do? And
I'll jump in. We're happy to do some outreach to our health unit with respect to our beaches and find out how we can sort of more actively participate in this program.
Thank you. Thank you. And that's how we get to move on, because we've already got a motion and it's been approved. Moving on to 16.1 regarding bylaw. 2026-25 being the 2027 fees and charges schedules. Motion reads that the bylaw 2026-25 being a bylaw to establish user fees for 2027 be given first, second, and third reading and finally passed the 16th day of June of 2026. Mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Mark, seconded by Bruce. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried, thank you. 16.2, restricted acts after nomination day, being bylaw 2026-26. And the bylaw reads that and the motion reads that bylaw 2026-26 being a bylaw to delegate authority to the CAO for restricted acts after nomination day, known as lame duck periods, be given first, second, and third reading and finally passed the 16th day of June 2026. Mover and seconder. Moved by Bruce, seconded by Larry. Questions, comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Moving on to our confirmation bylaw, confirmatory bylaw. Prepared motion reads that bylaw 2026-27 being a bylaw to adopt the proceedings of council meeting held on the 16th day of June 2026 and to authorize its execution be given first, second, and third reading and finally passed the 16th day of June 2026. Mover and a seconder? Larry? Mark? All those in favor? Thank you. Another new process. Adjournment. I call this meeting adjourned in accordance with procedural bylaw 2026-12. The chair may adjourn the meeting upon completion of the order of business, and I do so at 2:01 according to the black clock. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for bearing with us and living with our adjustments as we live through it.